Welcome one, welcome all, and welcome to Friday Fright Time, where every week I, Connor, along with my trusty sidekicks, Coffee and Stu, dissect horror movies from throughout history, tearing our favourite, most memorable moments to pieces. This week we've got an absolute corker for you. Coffee still being a dad, what a dickhead, but Stu isn't a dickhead, he's still a dad, but he's also here. And what we're going to do, Stu, we're going to tear into...
Keep going.
Yeah, we're going to tear into some Russian soldiers who blow up and uncover a tomb full to the brim with the entire Dracula family, including the family pet, Zoltan, the vampire dog.
It had all the Draculas. The Sesame Street Dracula, there's Stevie Dracula,
Okay, Stevie Dracula.
Big Mikey Dracula.
Fucking Count Chocula as well. Oh, yes. Anyway, yes. Let's not digress. This film's too shite for us to digress too much.
Yeah, let's get it over and done with.
Yeah, so Zoltan, anyway, the vampire dog, along with his human mate, Feig Schmidt, Zoltan goes on holiday to America to track down his true master, the last of the Dracula Bloodline, our Mikey Dracula. It's time to release the hounds and sink our canines into Dracula's dog, also known as Zoltan, Hound of Dracula. How are you doing this week, Stu?
I'm good. That was a fantastic intro, my friend.
I mentioned in the intro there about the Russian soldiers, blowing up the cave. Can we talk about the logic of these Russian soldiers and how they are completely not anything like proper Russian soldiers and how just stupid they are?
Why? Because they're not riding bears.
They're not riding bears, they're not throwing vodka at nuns. They're just so bog standard.
I can't understand how they're blasting this hillside and somehow they uncover the entrance to a tomb, but out of all the blasting that they're doing, the tomb remains completely undamaged. Like there's a perfect opening, there's a perfect set of stairs down, none of the interior is damaged whatsoever, except for when the guy gets left in the cave by himself for whatever reason and they continue blasting and then it starts crumbling. I can't work out the logic behind it.
It's like the 20 bomb blasts before that were perfectly fine. It's just this last 21st bomb blast that's
I mean, if
fucked it all over.
if anyone tries to sleep in that cave, then it's fucked. But if no one's asleep in it, it's alright, it's perfectly safe. It's like a bear shitting in the woods thing, isn't it? Is the cave safe when you're not in it?
Do you mean like if a tree falls in the woods and no one's around?
That's it.
You're not a bear shitting in the woods.
Nah, there's a bear shit in the woods.
What about a vampire dog shitting in the cave then?
Yeah, I mean, there was a little vampire dog shit in the cave, wasn't there?
There was. He comes out of nowhere. Well, he doesn't come out of nowhere. The coffin, one of the coffins, flies out of the wall.
The bomb blasts knock the coffin out of its hole that is sat in for thousands of years.
Inside the coffin anyway, you've got a lovely quilt with a stake shoved in it and this Russian soldier. And by the way, why have the Russians put one soldier in this cave? I was already in a daydream by this point. Did they put him in there to guard the cave?
Yeah, they did, yeah.
Right, so you're a full Russian army. Why are you putting one guy in charge of looking after a cave full of Draculas?
When you say full Russian army, I'm pretty sure by this point we've only seen two of them.
I don't know, I count at least half a dozen,
I mean,
maybe.
I've never been to Russia. Maybe that is a full Russian army.
That's all they need. They're that fucking hard.
Yeah.
They just need half a dozen of them.
So drunk. They're just fucking animals.
They're like Peaky Blinders. They just come up and just ruin you from all angles.
When the first coffin falls out of the wall, of course, the natural thing to do is open it. And then when you find a stake through whatever's in there, is to obviously pull it out. But when he does that, the dog throws the sheet at him across the room. And then he's just suddenly attached to his neck.
Yeah, fully pounces on him, doesn't it? There's no time of editing between Zoltan getting out the coffin and Zoltan attacking the soldier. It's just whack.
Yeah, it's fucking brilliant. And then they do it again, like a few minutes later, when the bat flies down and bites the dog.
The backstory.
The bat just like floats out the window and then suddenly is on a dog's neck.
It just slaps itself. The little sound effect on there. It's like, oh, flying. Oh incredible.
fucking brilliant.
What's the logic of these vampires as well? Because, like, you've got the soldier who pulls the stake out of dead century dog Zoltan, and then Zoltan pulls the stake from the dead for centuries Schmidt.
Before that, he pulls the coffin out, which is fucking amazing.
Yeah, he does, doesn't he? How strong's this dog? What pull has he got in his neck? Yeah, but like, if you've killed a vampire, right, you've got a stake through the heart, you know, the traditional killing method. You can't pull that out and then they're back to life again. If you stab someone and they're dead, and you pull the knife out, they're not waking up, because they're dead.
I'm not sure, yeah, like, removing the stake resurrects us. I didn't think that was a vampire thing. I thought it just killed him and that was it. This film taught me stuff. It taught me stuff. It did. It taught me that if you remove the stake, vampires come. It taught me that Russian armies consist of 2 men with dynamite. It also taught me about the full bloodline of the Draculas, all the way down to little Stevie. You know, when it cuts to kind of giving you the backstory that Dracula goes to steal a man's dog, and then instead...
What a sentence that is. Dracula goes to steal a man's dog.
Yeah.
How desperate is Dracula?
Because he couldn't bite anyone, he just nicks a dog. And
nicks it.
He does, doesn't he? Fucking chiefs their dog, and then the guy comes out, whatever the guy's main name is, Sven or whatever his fucking name is, Svenska.
Oh, the Schmidt, isn't it? And he's got a mouse like a fucking Weetabix as well.
Bless
How
you.
dehydrated this geezer. And his acting range is staring at nothing to staring at something.
To intimidating children. Yeah, so when Schmidtbag or whatever the fuck
Let's just call him Schmidt, like, fuck it.
Walter Schmidt, when the Schmidtbag comes out the house and says, mate, you can't just nick my dog, instead of Dracula going, I'm really sorry, he just goes, okay, well, you'll be my slave as well.
I will not deprive you of your dog. You too belong to me.
And the guy just is completely complicit. He's just like, okay, this film just made no sense. All of a sudden, Schmidtbag is on a fucking, like, he's on a cargo ship, transporting a dog coffin across the fucking world. And then when he gets to port, they open the crate that has basically a dog corpse in it, and they're completely unsurprised by that. So the first thing they do is check the dog for drugs. And they check the dog for drugs by just moving its head and then just stroking it. And then they're like, he's safe, and they move on.
Just give him a little rub followed by a squeezy.
Yeah,
just pop the lid back on.
Yeah, whatever the kids say on the internet, they boofed his snoof or whatever they say.
Boofed his snoof. Well, this needs to be renamed Dracula's Doggo, doesn't it?
Douglas.
Douglas! Oh, what a name. Douglas Dracula should be instead of Michael.
Douglas Snoof.
Oh my god, it sounds like a Lemony Snicket character.
Yeah, Douglas Snoof sounds
Douglas
like
Snoof.
He sounds like a dog detective. Douglas Snoof. It's like Sharky and George. Do you remember that?
Oh, yes.
The Crime Busters of the Sea.
Throwback. We always have a good throwback reference on this show.
I used to love fucking Sharky and George.
He is one for continuity as well, referring to Michael Dracula and where Michael Dracula lives. First off, as soon as I heard the name Michael Dracula, I just pissed myself laughing. The idea that you've got this exotic Transylvanian family with Igor Dracula and like Oscar Dracula, just Big Michael.
Yeah, Mike.
But yeah, according to the inspector, Michael Dracula lives on, he lives in LA for a start, and he lives on 14521 Kidron Street. What kind of street's got 14,500 houses on it?
I've got a question for you.
Go on.
Why does Schmidtbag walk so fucking slowly everywhere?
Because look at the clip of him, he looks like a fucking bale of hair.
He's a corpse, isn't he?
Wurzel Gummidge around here, like.
He's fucked, isn't he?
He's honestly like a soggy cornflake. His face, it's mental.
Soggy cornflake. Looks like he's sucking a lemon, doesn't he, at all times?
Yeah.
Also, why does Michael, when they're leaving for their trip, just happens to go into his garage and find pictures of Dracula and his dog, and isn't like weirded out? Like, why the fuck is there pictures of Dracula and his dog in my massive treasure chest that I own? He looks at them and just goes, okay, and that's it.
I don't know the time scale of the film as well, but like if you've got Dracula's dog who's been encased in a tomb for, you're gonna guess like a good 100, 200 years, right? Quite possibly longer. How is there a photograph of Dracula and the dog? Photographs weren't a thing in the 1700s.
Yeah, but Dracula can do what he wants. He can turn into a bat, mate, so...
and go onto a dog.
Yeah, he can like teleport onto a dog's neck. Pretty sure he can take a picture.
When taking pictures is impossible. Does what he wants, mate. Time travel Dracula. Time travel Dracula. Holy fuck.
We're going to make that if we make some dollars.
Here comes the money. Oh my god.
Why does Michael, when he's been attacked by a dog, leave his kids sleeping outside?
This is my trouble, right? Why does everyone sleep outside? I've been camping lots of times. I've camped in cold places. I've camped in fairly warm places.
You are
I'm not lying in the field outside a tent.
Let's never go camping together.
If we did, we might end up having a puppy burial. Now, you know the score. If you're a parent and you've got kids and they've had a dog or a cat or a goldfish or whatever and they die, and you do the whole speech of they've gone to a better place, they've gone to see insert dead relative here in heaven.
Oh, yeah. Granny and Milo are playing so gently together up in heaven.
Yeah, exactly that. Fucking Granny and Zoltan are having a fun gay old time up there. But here, the mother offers up, I'm sorry, honey, the dog was found dead in an abandoned boat.
Yeah. He's pretty... What? Yeah. It's where the kid, like, goes... I can't even remember what the kid says, and he just goes, no, he died of natural causes.
With his 2 puncture holes in his neck.
That's what.
Yeah, pretty natural, that, man.
Oh, he died of exposure, he says, didn't he?
yeah, he's going to die of exposure from sleeping outside, the little cretin.
Yeah. I've just found on my notes, I had a point, I made notes to speak about, because I had to, because I couldn't remember any of this film, because I was nearly asleep. But I just realised there's a point where I've just said, 45 minutes or so into the film, I don't really know, because I'd rather die than watch this any longer. It is a bit of a drag to get through. And then the note just says, talk about where the dog attacked the albino guy.
Yeah, this poor fella, fucking villain, battle rap reference, is chilling outside.
Chill, villain.
Chill, villain. He's chilling outside and he's just having a little meal to himself, you know, a little private camp. He just gets absolutely massacred.
It's the way old whatever Schmidtbag goes.
Schmidtbag, yeah.
He's just like, maul it. What did you say? Destroy him.
Maul him. Go on, Zoltan. Do it. In the most generic fucking, I am the evil man. Yeah. And he obviously can't use his fucking lips because they've been sealed shut by, like, porridge. Say, that Wallace and Gromit one where they're firing porridge out the gun on the little car. It's just he's been smacked in the face with that.
That's the other thing vampires can do.
What?
They can communicate. They're just basically Dr. Dolittle.
Yeah, the actor does Dolittle in this as well.
They just can talk to all animals by looking at them and just doing that face that he does throughout the film.
Later in the film as well, Schmidtbag here, he gets his 11 kill streak and he unleashes the enemy attack dogs incoming.
Yes.
He's been going around recruiting other vampire dogs, and these dogs that Zoltan's been biting don't react to the fact they're getting their neck chewed off.
They just lie down.
There.
They just lie down, don't they?
And also, did you notice that Zoltan's like close-up head for biting necks just looks like a little hand puppet? Oh, it's incredible. Definitely just on the end of Schmidtbag's hand.
Probably my favourite bit of this whole film is the noises that the dogs make. Why do they make elephant noises?
It's not just that, it's the same noise for everything.
Yeah.
I clearly clocked it. It's just the arr, arr, like, over and over again. The same 3 barks repeated over and over again for every dog. Even the puppy makes these adult dog noises.
Zoltan makes some very questionable, like, growls. It sounds like an elephant. I quite like the bit later in the film where they're attacking the hut.
Oh my god, I've got a whole bit on this. I'll let you go for it.
Well, the bit that I enjoyed the most was just where they chew through the electrical wires to cut the lights out. Like the dogs are like trained killers.
Yeah, fucking sacrificial dogs.
It's how they just look. Smashing through the windows, and he just hitting them with a chair, and then he's just gnawing at the electric wires, which don't electrocute him; they just cut the power.
I think you talk about the tactics of the boys. You've got Michael and you've got the detective stuck in this hut. And earlier on, the inspector says to Michael, "Oh, I've got some wooden stakes in the car. I'll show you how to use them." It's pretty fucking obvious how you use a stick, to be fair, mate. But they're in this hut. And their choice of strategy is to set a light to the stakes, which are made of wood, while they're standing inside a cabin made entirely of wood.
It's a good tactic, to be honest.
Oh, and then also Michael's defense afterwards, he decides to go to his car and slowly retract the roof on his convertible to block off the dogs, even though the roof of his convertible is made of fabric, and these dogs have just tore through the roof of a wooden house.
It's when the little paw gets stuck in the roof of the convertible.
Oh, and he just starts smacking it with a stick.
I don't get why, when he's carrying like around all the stakes as well, he's got like a mallet with the stakes to hit them in, but they never use the mallet. They just use the mallet. They just use the stake. Doesn't make sense. Did you ever find the videos on the internet that were entitled bum fights?
Was it just homeless people, like, giving each other a fucking smack?
Basically,
is that right?
Yeah, it was like homeless people where they'd pay them to just fight, or they'd pay like drug addicts to
Fucking...
They used to like throw bags of crack into a swimming pool and make them dive for them and stuff. it was really bad. Anyway,
tie a brick round the bag as well.
When the 2 old men are fighting, it just reminded me of the old bum fight videos. Because they're just like rolling around on the floor, not really fighting.
And the sound effects as well. It's like fucking Enter the Dragon. They're like, wah-ha! Schmidtbag, man, you haven't opened your mouth the whole film. Now you're giving us the whole Jet Li impression.
I'll tell you, the greatest bit about Schmidtbag is when he dies. His death scene is brilliant because he just screams.
Oh, my favourite, they've got to be the best death scene of the whole film is Zoltan himself. So Michael tracks him down to the edge of a cliff and he just rips open his shirt like Hulk Hogan, and the power of Christ makes Zoltan fucking launch himself off the cliff. It's like they've just got like a toy stuffed animal and just threw it off a cliff.
There's a bit before that, mate, where the dogs are fighting with the men, and one of the men just gets a dog in a headlock. It's a great fight scene. There's
genius.
also, I couldn't help but think when the dogs are smashing up the car, that car was a rental, so that is going to be fucking expensive.
Oh yeah, shit, that's also a good point.
Yeah.
So Michael Dracula's going to be in debt.
Not only is he going to be in debt and, you know, possibly risk the future of the Draculas, when he drives away with fucking Zoltan on the bonnet, he like brakes so Zoltan falls off. And then Zoltan isn't quite out the way of the car, so he has to stop the car to let the dog actor move out the way, and then he drives off.
What do you mean by that? Do you mean that it's a guy on all fours dressed in a costume?
It's Peter Dinklage.
Like a pantomime horse. This has got like 2 blocks.
On that note, do you know what? I made you a clip because some of this film reminded me of something.
Oh my god! Right, I'm gonna get into this one. Oh, are you ready, Ghoul guys? Let's do it. Stew special coming up in 3, 2, 1. Oh god. Yes, Rockstar. Ah, yes, Inspector. Inspector, insert surname here that I can't remember.
Schmidtbag.
Yeah, Schmidt. Oh my god.
So this just reminded me, I don't know why, but some of these clips just reminded me so much of San Andreas. Especially with him just like cruising around in his little pimpmobile that he hired out.
You can tell that when you're watching a film called Dracula's Dog and your mind wanders to think about San Andreas, that you're not really engaged.
To be honest, if it was more like San Andreas, it would be way more watchable, this film.
Yeah. Fucking Zoltan shows up like, shit, here we go again.
Yeah. So that was my, that's what this, that's literally all my mind could think about. I almost put the cruising down the street in Mad 6-4.
I thought you were going to go, making my way downtown. Oh my god, that was our review of, I would say the year, but I can't remember, 1977, I think, or 78.
Oh,
Dracula's Dog, also known as Zoltan, Hound of Dracula. Oh my god, did you enjoy that one, mate?
No, do you know what? Let's please watch a decent film next.
Never. If you want us to continue watching decent films and other shit films like Dracula's Dog, please support Unleash the Ghouls by subscribing to the YouTube. You can go to our Facebook page, hit us a like there, and you can get all of our notifications throughout the week. We're going to throw some emojis out there, and you can guess through the emojis as little clues for what our next Friday Fright Time's going to be. I've been Connor, you've been Stu. Make some noise, Stu.
Woo!
These outros are getting slicker by the day. Oh, cheers everyone. I hope you enjoyed that, and we'll be back next time for another episode of Friday Fright Time. See you later.